Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome from Southern California? I do voices now too, Josh. Did you know that?
Can we do the sitcom music as you walk into frame, like the round of applause?
He was at my house the other day, and I.
Yeah, Marshall.
Thanks, Marshall. He was at the house, and I have. I steal a lot of stuff from television shows that I've been on over the years.
Mostly Full House.
I thought you were going to say you just steal a lot. I was like, wow.
No, I don't really steal much. Excuse me. You can cut that out, right, Marshall?
Yeah.
But I have the doors from Fuller House, those red, very iconic doors. Josh was on the show. And I built a bathroom in my backyard, and I told Josh, I said, let's do it, because he always, let's do a TikTok. I said, well, here's a TikTok chance. Every time, it's a bathroom, and every time I walk out, there's an applause, people applause and scream, like, what you want? He said, no, no, people won't get it.
And yet here you are bringing it up again. We could have ended that over the weekend.
We could cut this part out too, right, Marshall?
I think it's a great idea.
All
okay.
right. Well, you do it,
Should we
Ben.
start then? Over?
Oh, we're started, baby.
No, we're rolling.
That is boring. That's not a good
This
story.
is so... Now, John, I think it's worth mentioning, we saw each other over the weekend for your beautiful son's birthday.
Yes.
Beautiful home.
Thank you.
Are we allowed to say you're turning 60 soon?
Well, you just did. I mean,
So here we are. And you want to get shredded?
yeah.
Yeah,
I
tell
want
us
to be
more.
in the best shape of my life at 60.
What's that look like for John Stamos?
You, like a Josh Peck type, you know.
Not me. No.
Ben, do you
Josh,
work out? Do you work out?
No.
Yeah, I want to talk to you. So, how did you start this beverage company?
No. You're not doing the Stamos thing. I told him before.
No, but I mean,
I said be careful
I understand
because
that.
he likes to flip it.
It's not flipping. I'm curious. I'm curious with John Stamos. That's my new thing.
Podcast Circus Soleil over here, right? With the flips. He's like an acrobat.
We gotta go with the flips.
I want to hear about you doing testosterone replacement therapy at
Let's
59.
start there.
I'm
Let's
not doing
start
any
there.
of that. But how did you start the thing? Real fast. You can cut it out later.
No, we're not cutting out.
Who comes out with? Go ahead.
Spirit Society, yeah.
Okay.
Like, it's just,
How much money is it? Did he do big with this thing?
We cover this
we're
every
we're,
Okay,
doing,
all right.
we're,
We
we're
only
starting.
have
No, we're,
you
start, we're
once.
starting. We're starting to do well.
I bet you are.
It's crushing.
2 years old.
Yeah.
And we.
Do you have any dough in it?
I'm thinking about it because it's here so much that I should be invested. Otherwise, I'm going to start going like this halfway through the pod.
Why should just give you a free 8% or something?
So you're going to get shredded.
Yes. What did I do? I called you because I don't know about these. I've never taken testosterone or any of that. Cause, although I could use it, but I did meet with a doctor a couple of times a few years ago, but we were trying to get pregnant again, so they said no testosterone. But then I hear everybody talking about these peptides.
Peptides are big.
So he knew everything about it. This guy, John.
Yeah, he's learned.
I like that stuff. I was on peptides for a little bit for my role in Turner and Hooch.
Right.
You think I wouldn't have changed my body chemistry for a show that was so quickly canceled, but nevertheless.
Well, we were on the same. We were on the same Disney Plus, and I'm canceled now too on there.
Yeah. How's that feel? How did cancellations feel with all your success? Does it hurt?
No.
Really?
Not anymore. No. It used to. When our show, when Grandfather got canceled, that was really hard because I loved you and I loved the show and I loved the people. But you just get to a point where it's like, f it, man. I hate to say like, oh, everything's meant to be, will be himself. But I used to put so much stress and energy into all of it, trying to control every little bit of it. And if people, if they're not watching it, what's next, Yeah. My mind, since I've been cleared up, I just have so many, there's just so many ideas and so many, and I think I talked to you about this a lot, which is like, you have access to a lot of very successful, people over the years, and you got to use your people.
So
Make sense?
this fitness journey, what's it look like? I want to know, are we going to do meal planning? You're going to get on peptides, probably with the great Dr. Craig Conover, who we'll have on the pod. My
Get
guy.
them free now, right?
Peptide King.
Talk about peptides because people might think it's heroin or something.
It's a natural antagonist for human growth hormone. Don't at me. Research your own science. I am not a scientist, but it can help you to lose weight, maybe put on a little bit extra muscle mass, and it's not quite as much of a kick in the ass as testosterone.
And it's more natural, obviously, than right.
Yes.
Yeah, truthfully, I've never done anything. I've worked out inconsistently, since I'm 18. So,
Yeah.
I'm in decent shape. I could kick it up. It comes to a point where you're like, I'm 59. It's hard to get rid of everything. Like if I really got ripped right now, but just on my own, even my face gets so thin.
And does it look? I don't mean to be ageist, but does it look weird for someone 60 to be like ultra ripped?
Well, I don't want to be ultra ripped. I want to be like you.
Stop it. You're too good to me.
That was an insult. Let's get some jokes going here. You know, Josh is very like he's look. I spent a lot of time with Don Rickles, and I'm sure your audience they don't
Love.
know him,
No, they do. Love.
Okay,
Legend.
and sometimes I'll. You know, it's been a while since he's passed away, but I'll be a little too much like Don, and it hurts Josh's feelings, and I don't blame it.
We've had a hard journey with my feelings and
hasn't
John's
been hard.
inappropriate jokes.
They're not inappropriate. What I'll do is like I will see like he's clearly the guy, and I just met you, so I would say something about you to put him down, to pull you up.
Did I tell you that?
You did. You did.
I don't want to say that you're in reruns, John, but I said this is what's going to happen. So keep him on the guardrails.
I've learned.
He's going to turn it and ask about you.
Okay, we're still doing that.
He does that,
Yeah.
and then he's going to make fun of me and say how handsome you are.
Have
Yeah,
I,
you
have I
haven't
made
done
fun
that
of
yet,
him
though.
once since I
No.
walked in?
And you
Have
also-
I made fun of you since you cried about it about 2 years ago?
I did
Whenever it
not
was?
cry about it.
But have I done it since then?
What happened?
I'll tell you what happened. Rickles, who's a worthwhile legend icon hero, was a, rest his soul, not a handsome, nebbishy looking guy who needed to be the funniest guy in the room.
Sure.
Right.
Because he was such a, what's the word?
Jewish.
Jewish,
No.
yes, but like he was a gnome. He was a little gnome man.
Did you
So
see when I brought him into Howard Stern?
Yeah, of course. I've seen
they
him
both
all.
spoke. They both talked. I snuck him because he wouldn't go on Howard, and Howard loved him. So I finally got after 2 or 3 years, and they both connected on that they were not attractive guys,
Right.
and they had to be funny. In fact, Don was talking about having to be funny when he was in school, and he didn't get a lot of girls. And Howard said, "Oh yeah, me too," you know, and Don said, "Oh, really? Yeah, you look like a Jew Zulu." Jew Zulu. Sorry.
He was the best.
Yeah.
And crazy genius, but he was built like a gnome. So when he's going after Frank Sinatra, you're like, this is as good as it gets. Because, like, who puts Frank Sinatra in his place? This little Jewish gnome man. When Stamos would do it to me, I'd be like, Stamos, what you don't understand is you might not feel that in your heart. I actually know you don't because you have this beautiful, fragile artist, humble soul. You're varsity. You're gorgeous, you're successful, and from the outside perspective, you haven't had a lot of, what's the word? Knocks. So
Well,
me,
none of that's true. Ben,
but I look at
do
it
you
that
think
way.
that I'm all that? Maybe I don't need to work out so hard for this. 60th
I don't think you need to
birthday,
work out that
right?
hard.
Maybe it
You're
was-
varsity,
You
maybe-
have you have a very good tan. I
I,
think
uh,
tan is 90% of it, right? You don't have to be that strong as
You
long
look
as you're
tan too.
perfectly
Does he
tan.
go on a tanny
big.
bed? Has he ever been to?
We go to Tanny
You
Beds.
guys, yes or no? Come
no,
on, Ben.
no.
Come on.
Too scared. Too
Seriously?
scared. Yeah.
He looks a little baked, doesn't he?
No,
I
No,
mean,
I spent the weekend in Miami.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Big
that,
shot, huh?
Yeah, that
Okay.
Miami sun, Bal Harbor.
Did you go to? What are you doing there?
Just like being rich.
Yeah.
Yeah, laying on the beach, hanging out. It was my birthday.
Happy
It was my
birthday.
Thank
What
you very
day
much.
was your birthday?
April 3rd. April 3rd.
That's nice.
April
You
3rd.
see how I'm doing it?
Yeah, no, it's
Let's
really,
go back to- let's go-
wow,
wait.
thanks for- Marshall, can you clip that, please?
We can talk about the Dalai Lama. Did you see that? That was pretty weird.
Stick your tongue out, Josh. Oh wait,
Is
no.
that weird?
Is my well, yeah, man. You know, I'm a big
Is that weird?
I'm an
It's the
advocate.
weirdest.
It's the weirdest.
Yeah, and you
I've spent
seem
30 years, you know, in the child abuse. I work for this organization called Child Help, the prevention of child abuse, not. And I have an 8100 number. You've helped me out with some of it, I think,
Yeah.
over the years. So yeah, I mean, to me that looked like Jared without the Subway sandwich, right? I mean, he's like,
Yeah.
but he looked like he was falling in love with that kid too.
Yeah.
It was so
I mean,
weird.
what was the fall? I just looked at it this morning, but I couldn't believe it.
He apologized.
So
I mean,
did Jared,
yeah,
right?
well, Jared said there's no more, no more Subway sandwiches for Jared. He's in jail.
What his PR team said, though, was so weird. Did you see this? I'll read it to you if you didn't see it.
Do you
Did he
guys
get
keep-
tired?
No, it
It
was
was like he was playful or something.
It's-
Silly.
playful. That's exactly what it was. That he does this all the time off camera, and he's just trying to be playful. It's like, red flag.
Yeah, that's so playful. Well, it's too bad. And you know what? I know we don't want to drag the show down, but a lot of it is these kids are vulnerable in their home. You think that it's some weirdo is going to have a trench coat and take them off into a van, but it could be, you know, obviously it's parents and neighbors and uncles and Dalai Lamas and
I don't mean to be indelicate here,
Please.
but indulge me. Dalai Lama allowed to
I don't-
he is or isn't?
Is he?
I don't.
No,
think, I don't
he
think
sweeps
so.
all day.
I don't
They-
think
you
so.
know,
Dalai
they-
Lama
they-
can't.
They do stuff in the
So
sand.
we're setting
and they
these
don't
people.
talk.
We're setting these people up for failure. We're setting ourselves up for this.
I don't think- I
this
don't-
idea of chastity is really
Terrible.
hurting
Yes,
people.
100%.
I don't think it has anything to do with the 8-year-old and his tongue. Like it would. I agree with you if it was like a gorgeous blonde Like, right? Like,
Where's he going with this?
I'm saying, unless I misunderstood what you were saying.
I'm saying that these people don't have any sexual expression in any way, and so that it manifests in these weird, odd, gross ways.
You know, you take a holy man, right? I mean, and I went to Catholic church. Caitlin went to my wife went to Catholic church. We were trying to find something for our son, and it's you know, so we're not going there. But what's the worst thing that a man of God could do? Like there's so many steps. Like steal something, get a hooker. You do that.
Don't hit the table.
So the last thing is a young boy. It's sickening. It's fucking sickening.
Disgusting.
And don't get me started on it because and child abuse is on the rise. It's terrible. The pandemic. You know, everybody was cooped up in their homes.
Yeah.
And you have a kid, and you will someday. The idea of hitting your, like, could you? I mean,
Horrible.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've taken the show right in the
It all comes back to Basketball Diaries. We just spoke about
Oh, yeah?
it.
He just saw Basketball Diaries.
I just
for the
saw it
first
on the
time.
plane.
Oh, really?
What a crazy movie. And yeah, his what is it? I said this before. Priest uses the paddle right on his ass.
Yeah,
that sucks.
terrible.
Were you ever paddled?
No. Yeah.
But not by a priest.
Not by a priest.
By come on, give it to. Let's get
Okay,
some.
let's get it
Let's
into
get some viral moments.
Okay.
Who? In your history, I know you had a bit of a habit of perhaps maybe falling asleep in the middle of the throes of passion. Am I wrong? We
wasn't a
can cut
habit.
this.
No. And it wasn't an alcohol. It wasn't an alcohol-induced thing. But there was a time when I did fall asleep during sex. I think it was maybe oral sex too. But here's the deal. It was what do you have it? I was on I flew to Europe with this lady. She was actually my age, and I was jet lagged, you know, and I fell asleep, and then I was really embarrassed, and she told everybody. She thought it was so funny.
Wow. And this person, if we knew the name, it'd be like.
Go ahead, try to guess.
Yeah. Give us hints. 20 questions.
I'm not good at these games.
Musician.
No.
Frank. Ben. Got
Actress?
anything?
No.
Model?
No. Why would you guys start there? Why don't
Nobody?
you start at
Because it's hard
librarian?
to guess if
Well,
they're
why don't you start
random.
librarian?
CVS Pharmacy Tech.
Because we don't know them.
Well,
Librarian.
you might.
Teacher. School teacher.
No.
Marshall, what do you got?
Marshall,
Give
Uber
us.
driver.
No, this was like the 80s.
90s.
Taxi driver?
Taxi driver.
No.
What's something uniquely 90s? Neon clothes maker.
No.
Someone from the producer of the show Saved by the Bell.
Let me see. No. She was famous.
She was famous, but
Really
she wasn't
famous.
any of
In
those
fact, you
things?
know where this happened? We were Michael Jackson loaned us his suite at one of these hotels.
What a life you've lived.
You know, I didn't think I have, but I have now that I'm writing this book. I'm writing this book called If You Would Have Told Me, because
Now
you know-
that's a good title for a book.
Not like my shit.
Instead of
What was
happy
yours?
people are annoying.
No, but I loved it. That was, by the way, like, you know, he says I beat up on him. There's no bigger fan of Josh Peck than me. There's nobody who pumps him up more. We have beautiful conversations. Yes, I'm older, maybe a little more established, and you'd think that he would look to me, but I look to him for how to live life, how to treat people, how to be a good father, how to be a good husband, and how to look sexy.
But it's both ways.
Not all of them.
I come to you for a lot of advice. We have a really beautiful friend, an unlikely beautiful friendship. Like, who would have thought?
Me?
Yeah, the fat kid from Drake and Josh, you were like, that's going to be my bestie in 10 years.
I never saw that show. But if you would have told me that the fat kid from Drake and Josh is going to be my bestie, see, it all goes back to that. I mean, you must have those moments. Like if you would have told me that you'd have your own Spritz Society and be doing successful and working with the great Josh Peck, you'd have been like, no way, right?
No way. It's actually so true. I've never even thought about it like that.
Have you? Yeah. Did you watch Drake and Josh?
Oh yeah,
I call it
loved
Josh
it.
and Drake. Did
I
you?
loved it. It's
What
so
was your
funny.
favorite catchphrase on there? Have mercy or one of those?
No, Have Mercy
Hug a
is
brother.
always pretty
Hug-
great.
hug a brother.
Yeah, hug me, brother.
Yeah, I
that was
like that
great.
one.
I'm getting PTSD, guys.
So wait, so we're off topic. So
And he
you
was
didn't
like-
guess who the girl was? No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, yes. I want to get.
We're
yes.
we'll run this through the whole
Please.
thing.
So this woman's very famous.
Yeah, but wait. So we got off on something.
Oh,
here. If you would have
Lord.
told me, we're talking about the book. You said I had a life. I didn't. And since he wrote a book, and I remember when you were writing a book, I thought like, I'm never gonna write it. First, I'm not that interesting. I don't know really what to say. It seemed like the most, like just something I could never do. Write a book, and those are things you want to do. The things that you think you can never do, right? And then I kept getting offers, and then I kept saying no, and then I had a kid, and I thought, oh, fatherhood, and I started thinking about that quite a bit, and marriage, and getting a second chance after being a fuck up and confusing the universe for so long, and that's when Josh came around, and then Bob died, and then I still said no, but I found this box of notes from my mom. It was so beautiful. I started thinking, blah blah blah, and I'm getting older, and so I thought, why not tribute? There's so many beautiful people that have come in and out of my life that I really want to pay tribute to. And is this boring, guys? You want to get back to the who I fell asleep?
Speaking of beautiful people.
Yes, my wife.
You and a beautiful, the most beautiful.
She is.
But a substandard, slightly beautiful adjacent person that you are now asleep in between their legs at a hotel Michael Jackson got you go.
Mm-hmm. Well, we didn't hold any babies out. There was no holding off the balcony or anything. But wait, so if you would have told me, as I'm writing this, did you do this like, oh my God, I've done a lot of stuff.
How famous was this person?
That came up. There's another one that I haven't put, that it's not in the book, but I used to go on these car shows. Did they ever send you guys out for to sign autographs and stuff?
Yeah, I've done a couple Comic-Cons and stuff.
Yeah, well, this was before Comic-Con, but I would go to these car shows. I was on General Hospital, and you'd go, and there'd be 10,000, 20,000 people show up. It'd be wrapped around the Detroit Auto Center or whatever. And they would send me and 12 playmates. Or me and Heather, one of the hot Heather Locklear, Heather Thomas, Heather thing.
Wow.
So I was probably like 19 or so.
Christy Brinkley.
No.
I'm just going to keep guessing throughout your story. Keep it exciting. Elle McPherson.
No.
Okay, keep going.
Who had an affair with her was Norm Macdonald. Do you know that?
Norm Macdonald had an affair with Elle McPherson?
Yeah, I asked him about that all the time.
Just goes to show. And that's like the Pete Davidson effect. Like, funny works.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because it doesn't, just by looks alone. No shade on Pete, but...
Yeah, Pete.
What are we talking about?
Are you still friends with him?
Yeah, ish. I mean, I don't have his new number.
He's fallen asleep on a lot of, I think, ladies.
Are you going to say that here, or is that alleged? Do you know that for sure?
No, I don't know that.
Because they're going to run with that.
I don't know. So anyway, I'm at this...
This podcast is unhinged.
So, is that what it's called?
This is wild.
Unhinged.
It's called Unhinged?
No.
Oh. When are we doing the wife's podcast? That's what I thought this was.
Next.
Your wife is...
Yeah, she's great.
Is it bigger than this?
Bigger,
Yeah, she's
bigger.
funny, too.
Yeah, she's bigger.
Yeah. What is the person didn't mind that you fell asleep in between their legs? They thought it was funny.
She thought it was funny and then told everybody. So I'm at this car show and I look across and Heather Locklear, and I'm like, Heather Locklear. She was so still, and so I'm just slobbering over myself. And you would, I'm telling you, it would be like, wrong number. It's the girl. No. I got another story about losing my virginity. But so I look across, and then a note gets passed to me, and it's from Heather, and she says, "Hey, do you want to meet up in the bar tonight after we do these things?" And you would go and sign, like I said, like 10,000, 20,000 people, and I'd come home with $10,000, $15,000 in cash, and I'm still living at my parents' house. And my dad would be like, I said, "Look at all the money I made, Dad." And he's like, "Go clean up the dog shit in the backyard." He kept me level there for a while. But the note says, "You want to meet later?" So yeah. So I get there early because I'm like, nervous, and I start drinking like, beers, whatever I drank back, light beer, and then I have a shot, just to kind of loosen up. And she comes, she's great, charming, funny. She goes, "Let's play quarters," and she was really famous. They started bringing over all these drinks, tequila, and she's like a boom, perfect shot, and boom, and by the third one, I'm like weaving, I'm not even hitting the table, and I'm missing, and so she goes, "I'm in room 742.
Yes.
Come up and see me. I'm gonna take a shower." Oh, okay. Wow, great. The next thing I remember was the following day. Yeah, the people from the thing. I passed out, threw up all over my room, because I went to my room first, threw up all over my room, passed out, missed the whole night, and I don't think I ever talked to her again after that.
Really?
Yeah, I think
Talk to her. She's watching. Talk to her here now.
I just did. Sorry, Heather. You got me drunk, and I don't think I've ever told that story. No.
Great. Clip it.
Was it good?
Clip
I don't
it all.
know.
It was good.
I love Josh
Ben,
so much.
Similar story. You falling asleep pre-canoodle?
Yeah.
No.
How long have you been with your girl?
11 years.
Wow.
11
How
years,
long have you been married?
6.
No kids? Why are the kids?
No,
They're
yeah, we met
youngins.
young.
He's 30.
We met
His
young.
wife's 27.
Take your time.
Yeah.
Take your time.
We met at 20 and...
Yeah.
He was
20
going to
and
be a
8. We met at
dentist.
20 and
He was
18.
studying
I
at
was.
the yeshiva, a respectable man.
I
That's
was.
good.
I was.
Since then, now
I
he's
was.
here with me.
He's it's
Life,
good.
Life
That's great.
twists and turns.
If you would have told
Twists
me.
and turns.
I wanted to be a dentist too for a minute. I thought about being a dentist.
And then you looked in the mirror and you're like, not with this face.
Was it because you like teeth?
No, I don't know why. I thought it was cool, but
What part is cool?
I was not an attractive kid growing up. You were way better looking. Yeah. I'll show you pictures,
Don't do
man.
that hot guy
I'll show
move.
you pictures.
Hot people always do that. I was awkward.
Okay,
I'm like,
all
you
right.
were 6 feet. Like, what are you talking
How
about?
tall are you? I've never thought about that. Aren't you 6? You're not 6 feet?
Yeah, I'm 6 feet.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. You don't look tall when you've also got.
What was the
300 pounds
moment?
around you.
Yeah.
What was the moment when like girls were screaming for you and stuff?
Never.
Come on, that's bullshit.
That's
Because
not
I've
my
been with
thing.
you, and girls got excited, and people get excited.
Late, much later, like in my mid 20s, late 20s.
Well, that's all right.
But like for a second, I've never been that guy. I'm good. I'm good
you-
looking.
yeah, you have.
I'm good looking adjacent.
I
I'm good
remember-
looking
You
in
have.
a-
You
in-
have. You
I'm-
think it was just a confidence thing? Because you have.
I'm
Okay,
good
what
looking
about?
like in a Tom Hanks way, like your cute neighbor.
No, you're
I
a good
introduced you
looking
to Tom
guy.
Hanks.
Love
huh?
You're a good looking guy.
So are you?
You guys stick a tongue out and one of them suck it. Let's go.
Come here.
Clip it.
But wait, but what about when you were famous? Like all of a sudden you became. Did you want to be famous growing up?
Never.
Really?
There's
I
a great Bill Murray quote where he says, people usually want to be rich and famous, and
Mm-hmm.
to which I would say, just try rich first and see if that doesn't solve most of your problems.
Oh, that's interesting. I wanted to be famous. I didn't care about money.
I could see that.
I loved it.
I could see
still
that
do.
for you.
And then people go, "Oh, you don't want to take a picture?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, I wanted to be famous. I'm happy to take a picture, autograph, whatever you need." And I love people. I feed off of all that. But when I would have my best friend Mike Owen. Like there was a show called Lucan, and it was like Wolf Boy kind of thing. And we would be at an amusement park, and I would have him come up and ask me for my autograph, and then people would say, "Oh, who's that guy?" And then the girls would come up and sign. I signed fake autographs. First autograph I ever got. Well, I can't talk about it.
Great
Now
story.
you have to.
No, it was. I went to, and I can't talk about it, only because it's a big thing in the book.
All right, well, we'll
You could
cut
tease
that.
it.
Really, thanks for that, John.
Wait, so when you became famous, though, how did that? Oh, you didn't like it.
And I met my wife when I was
you think?
24.
I remember meeting Paige for the first time, going like, "Why can't I meet a girl like her?" I was so happy for you, but also not jealous is the wrong word, but like,
Yeah.
I want that. I wanted that. How did he get that?
She's a great girl.
great girl, and
She
her
is.
and my wife are friends, and that's beautiful too.
We're 3 lucky men here.
Oh, yeah.
Really? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
really are. I used to sit with Bob, before, and you knew Bob Saget, and we would just talk about wanting to meet, the one, and it was so great that we both, did at one point. The last dinner I had with him was, it was that. We were just saying, look at how lucky we are. And it was so interesting, Josh, because you knew him, and he was everything that you wanted Bob to be at that moment. I don't know why, I don't know the gods, I don't know what was going on, but he was calm, he listened, he didn't talk about himself too much, he didn't try any joke you would say, or anything you would say, he used to kind of want to have the top. He was so deeply insecure, and I felt so awful when he got such love when he passed away, and he had no idea, right, Josh? Like, he didn't know how. The problem was that he could never accept the love that he was getting, because he was, maybe with you, with the fat stuff, he saw himself as Chappelle and Tom Hanks and George Clooney and, whoever.
Yeah,
So,
the legends.
yeah, and
crazy
he was
legends.
never going to get there. And I used to say, you're too high, man. Go reach back down here. Then if you get there, you're close and it feels right. I think that's
Did
what
that
you and I
ever lead to any kind of sort of fights between you guys or disagreements? Because that's a hard place to be in when you see your friend kind of dealing with that.
Yeah, we didn't get, well, when we did Full House, we hated each other.
Why?
Because he was a comic and he was coming in just, there was another guy that was cast first. That's a guy named John Posey, right? And
Wow.
and his dad, he's the dad of one of the kid Posey. So he was a popular kid on a vampire.
Tyler Posey.
Yes, that's his
Another
son.
handsome guy.
Handsome
I
guy.
don't know who that is.
And so he was on. And Jeff Franklin, the creator of the show, really good guy. He always had Bob in mind for this character.
Wasn't it Paul Reiser got the offer first?
Maybe.
I happen to have some Full House facts.
Did you?
I did.
Why?
But
go ahead.
no, you go first, and then I'll hit you with a
Talking the whole
couple.
time, Ben. It's
good.
enough of me.
So Bob, it wasn't
So
initially
he came up.
Bob.
He wasn't. Yeah. So when Bob became available, the poor guy Posey, Jeff. We went with Bob and we reshot some of the stuff. It was a pretty ballsy move of Jeff because the pilot had been picked up already, and it tested through the roof. And I remember so I met with Jeff, and they said, "Oh, there's this show, and it's the same guys who did Bosom Buddies, and and there's some kids in it, but it's really 3 buddies, a comic, a rock and roll guy." And I think, okay, great. I met with Jeff. We got along. We talked for like 2 hours at the Mustache Cafe. And never once, we talked about girls, we talked about music, we talked about Elvis, we talked about girls, we talked about girls that we had dated. We had to make sure we were curious, did we cross over? Was there a crossover?
Eskimo Brothers, it's called.
Is that what it is? But
Yeah.
at the same time, not the same time. That's the same time, isn't it?
Just if
No,
you-
that's just if you have and he has.
Look at these guys telling me about sex.
That's me.
You never
I'm
expect
an
that,
expert.
right?
You are?
I am.
Sexpert.
Yeah. That's,
Yeah, you're looking at.
I'm an
these-
addict. I don't know if you knew.
Porn?
Yeah.
Porn guy, huh?
We,
Look at him. So,
we're the face of J-Date.
that's great. I'm G-Date, the Greek. That's not funny. Wait, so we were talking about...
So you and Jeff Franklin, girls you dated.
So we didn't, and I'm getting my car at the valet, and he said, "Well, what about the show? You want to do the show?" And I thought, okay, we didn't. There was no crossover girls. But yeah, I'll do it. I got in the car and left. We never talked about it, but it was supposed to be three guys and some girls, maybe. The kids weren't a big deal. And then I remember they were going through all this trouble casting. I was like, well, they're really detail oriented. They're really going through a lot of trouble casting these girls, and they're just going to be in the background, And I did the reading of it, and I was coming in as this. I just come off of General Hospital and a couple other shows. I worked with Jack Klugman before that, and he was one of the great television actors of all time.
Our audience is wild.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I know. And there were some of the best I met these great comedy writers, and that's where I met Gary Marshall, Jerry Belson, Harvey Miller, these titans of sitcom, comedy. And Jack would make me sit in the writer's room in the corner and listen and watch how they construct jokes and story and stuff. Invaluable. And Gary was the one who suggested me for Full House, too. Mm-hmm. You met Gary.
Yeah, he produced Grandfather.
Oh, yeah. So, no, but I mean, we hung out with him. Didn't we sit in the dressing room and go over a scene? We made him show us that scene in Lost in America. Were you there?
Yeah, he's. You know Gary Marshall?
No.
He's like crazy genius, created like some of the biggest
Happy
TV
Days,
shows.
Laverne and Shirley, Mork and Mindy,
love.
Pretty Woman.
Like-
He discovered all these people.
Crazy genius. And my funny Gary Marshall story is that I was sitting at a restaurant with my mother having lunch, and her being the great Jewish mother she is, Gary Marshall walks by and goes, "Gary, you should know my son. He's famous too." And I'm like,
Gary-
kill myself.
And Gary was sweet to you, right?
And he stands there and goes, "All right, so we'll have lunch." And he's like, "I'll get in touch with you. I'll remember your name." And he did. He called my manager and was like,
No
have
kidding.
him come for a meeting. And I came, and he's like, "I have nothing for you, but I'm
Yeah.
glad we met." And I was like, God bless him.
He was the best.
So
So Full
Bob's-
House. So so I do the table. We did the reading of and I'll never forget. It was at Century City Hotel over there, and the thing starts, and I'm coming in like the macher. Is that what it is?
Big macher?
Yeah,
Macher.
macher. I'm gonna try to use as much as I can, and I'm starting to feel spilkits, like spilkis or
Spilkus,
what's that mean?
schwitzing.
I was I
You're
wasn't
sweating-
schwitzing.
polishing.
What's when you walk in cool and you got everything, macher, right?
Big macher.
Yeah, I was that. And, hey, all the kids' mothers knew me from the show, and I was so we get in, we start doing. Jodie Sweetin, who plays Stephanie on there, every line out of her mouth was the biggest laugh, blowing the roof off the place. And I'm
Yeah.
like, they couldn't even hear my lines. They were laughing so hard at her thing.
Did you hate that?
Ended the end. Thank you.
must
I
say.
ran out to the lobby, grabbed a quarter because there was a phone, put the quarter, called my manager, said, "Get me the fuck off this show."
Yeah.
It's a kid show. I don't want to.
I won't have some 9-year-old upstaging me.
And we weren't a hit either. It took us. We had to go in the summer. It was a whole thing, but it was Bob wanted to make. He would just worry about making him laugh. Roy, what was it?
Marshall.
Sorry, Marshall. He passed
He's
away.
asleep. Marshall's asleep.
Marshall fucking fell asleep, didn't he?
It's all right.
Stand
Listen,
up, Marshall.
This podcast has had good moments, but there
Did you fall asleep?
moments.
He's watching porn on that computer. I swear to God. Do you guys have a lock on it somehow? 'Cause
Marshall's booking his Airbnb for Coachella. He passed away.
Marshall. So that was Rickles. Marshall passed away and nobody told him. He would say the home called. So Bob wanted to make Marshall. He wouldn't give a shit. He wouldn't put any, Josh, even when we did the Fuller House. And it was made me batshit because it was very disruptive to my process, which was let's make the scene as good as we can. Let's work on the story. Let's rehearse bits. Let's do shtick, whatever it is. Let's make the show better. He wanted to make Wiley, the guy pulling the cable, laugh, and so we butted heads for a long time. But I knew he was a genius. I knew he was and I love comedy, and you do too, right? I love stand-up. I love the art of it. I love the craft of it, the mathematics of it. Who are these people? Seinfeld of it all, and I knew that Bob had that, and so it took me a while to tell him that he was so brilliant. But I was like, I gotta become. I just out of wanting to learn, I had to get closer to him. And then I think our differences brought us closer together. Like I learned about comedy a little more from him, and he because of him, I hung out with so many great comics over the years. And then I think he, learned how to act a little bit.
Now this is Collider.com talking, not me.
Okay.
But we've got some
Collider?
Full House, some interesting facts.
Go ahead.
Did you try to get the Olsen twins fired?
I did it. I didn't try. I did.
You got them fired?
Okay, so here's the pilot, right? We're doing that scene. I don't know if there was Joey and I were changing the baby, right? And we didn't know, and Danny's gone, and so take care of the kids. Yeah, we got it, and we didn't. And so we're carrying the baby downstairs, and I think I was holding her in the armpits, and Dave was holding her little feet, like I think. And we take her in the kitchen, and we hosed her down, and fan her fan. We put a fan on her. We wrapped her up in paper towels and stuck her. She was great. Both of them. They wanted to be anywhere else but there, and so did I.
Right, because they were 11 months old.
They were 11 months old, and God bless them. And they kept switching this one. This one's not going to cry. This one's Mary-Kate and or Ashley.
Almost like kids shouldn't act.
Yeah. Well,
almost like we should protect them from these things.
Well, they did okay.
Yeah.
And all our kids did pretty good off that show. But it was, I couldn't deal with it. And I said, this is not going to work, guys. And I screamed at them. I said, get rid of him. I can't work like this. It sounded like such a... But it was obvious because we had to loop everything. And so they got rid of him. They bring on these two redheaded kids. I'm sure their parents loved them and thought they were attractive.
Did they?
Redheads are really
They had
hit or
nothing to do
miss.
with them being redheaded.
Tell them your
Redheads are really hit or miss. Either they're so
hot.
stunning, or you
Yeah.
need to keep them in your closet. Like you can't show these kids. I'm sorry.
Like
It is what it
Marshall's
is.
a stunning redhead.
Stunning.
Marshall,
Stunning.
stand up.
Jackie Oshry, stunning.
Stunning.
He's back on the computer. Oh, you
Stunning.
are a redhead.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with them. You weren't on Full House for a day, were you? No. Okay. It had nothing to do with the redhead, but they weren't attractive.
Did
were
the
hideous.
Olsens know that they were fired?
They do now.
Did they know at the time?
Like
They
when
were-
you, or was it just like, hey, you guys get a week off?
It was only
You
a few
need some
days,
rest.
and I said, bring the Olsens back. These kids are terrible.
But did they know? Did
Well, they were
know
11 months. How did they know?
No, but I mean, did the parents know that they
I
had
don't
been
know.
released?
I don't know.
Wow, that's a crazy thing to hear.
I mean, I think it was, it was a day or something. Then we tried the other kids. It didn't work, and we brought another. But
Wow.
And now they own this building we're in.
Yeah, they've done very well.
But they were so great. Did you say hi to them when Bob died?
No, because you put me in my head about it.
What did I do? Tell me.
I mean,
Is this another thing I've ruined your fucking life with? I mean, when everybody, I listened to about 3 or 4 of these podcasts, you kiss everyone's asses up and down and sideways for 20 minutes, right, Marshall? I mean, 20 minutes. Oh, you're so great. You're so good. Some internet girl with talking about ketamine or something. Ketamine or something.
Great. Listen, you should. God willing, your episode does as well as Tana.
Look, I don't need this. I'm doing okay. This is 50 years and a bit, whatever I've been. You know what I mean? Now get it.
Now you're in the pocket, John.
I mean, oh yeah, you need people to listen to you.
If you're gonna shit on me, make it really.
I'm not shitting
clippable.
on you, but my thing is like all these people, the thing. 25 minutes. Well, how great they are.
John,
The girl with the what's her name? The singer. How great she was. That you worked with. Lizzie McGuire.
Hillary Duff.
Sorry, Hillary Duff. She was great. You guys, 20 minutes about. Well, first of all, she's the greatest ever.
She's my current boss.
She's beautiful. I love her. But you guys lathered her up, and then 20 minutes of Jew talk, and then finally we got into something. But I didn't get any of that.
I'm ready to lather. There's some history.
No, it's fine.
Lather.
There's no
There's
history.
Lather. What were we talking about? So what was I attacking you about?
What were you saying? What'd you say?
What was it, Marshall?
Olsen twins.
Oh, the Olsen twins. Oh, but I get it. And you know what? My wife's to blame too. So I'm
what
attacking
happened?
two
What
of my
happened?
favorite
What
people.
happened?
I mean, in the whackness, Mary-Kate Olsen's in the movie.
Oh.
I guess I could tell the story of me trying to ask Mary-Kate Olsen on a date. So we.
you?
Yeah.
What did she say?
No.
You see that, Tommy? You can't teach that. That's good.
So we make this movie together. She was awesome, so good in the movie, so proud of it, whatever. I hadn't seen her in 15 years. Unfortunately, I'm seeing her because, the wonderful Bob had passed away. And
So before then you should give me a break, right? Because it was not my best day. Go ahead.
No, you gave this beautiful eulogy, made this beautiful video for him, and you were perfect. But the next day, not at the memorial, I'm like, it's crazy. Chappelle's here, John Mayer. I don't have the star power to go up to them now. But at your house, that you had a lovely event at the next day for just kind of the friends and family, I'm like, this is the time. I'm like the 5th most famous person here. It works.
5th?
Yeah. You. Who else was there? Mike Binder.
Maybe
the
you were
Olsen
number
twins.
2 or 1.
I was up. Top 5 for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm
Top
like,
5. You were in 3.
should I go talk to Mary Kay and be like, so nice to see you. Remember this great movie? And my wife and John go, nah.
Oh, is that what it was?
You both were like, I wouldn't bother her. And I'm like, okay.
But don't you know we were saving you from,
What?
My dad used to say, he went up to somebody, Olivia de Havilland or somebody, this is like an Olsen.
Mamie Van Doren.
Yeah, someone like that before she lost her head. And he, hey, I'm a big fan, and she blew him off. She said, that foul, never say hi to a celebrity. Mary Kate, God bless her, you would have walked away being disappointed because only just in that moment because of everything going on, but also, she probably would have said, "Oh, yeah, okay, great."
Right.
Can you light my cig?
I get that.
And I just didn't want that. I think that's what we didn't want for you, right?
Can you light my cig?
But
Yeah,
did
can
I
you light my cigarette?
What did I say? Don't say hi to her?
Yeah, a little bit.
But then didn't I
my
go over?
My wife
and-
agreed with you.
Didn't I go over and say, "Hey, you guys were in Whackness together"?
Yeah, and
See,
that was
he's
even
leaving that
worse.
out.
That part was worse.
He's leaving that out.
It was
Because
even-
she went like, "Huh?" And that's what she would have done. You would have done that by yourself. At least I was standing next to you. When
She's very good at it.
Oh, you said you two were in the Whackness together?
Yeah, he's not telling
He
the whole story.
facilitated it. It was really.
Oh, so it happened.
And she was like,
Oh, wait, he told the story in complete
Yeah,
reverse.
it's all he's got on me.
I don't even understand.
I love
So
you, Josh.
good.
I love you, and I think our friendship has never been stronger.
yes, we're great friends.
pretty
I'm
honest
very
with each
lucky.
other.
Yeah.
How do we
Great
get
friends.
you two really good friends?
It's happening. It's
What's
happening.
that? The two of us?
Yeah, I
I
see that
got a
for
lot
you
of friends.
It's happening. No,
I mean,
I see it. I see it.
Do
I'm
you have
very
a plane? Do you have an
persistent.
airplane? Do you have a plane?
I
He's
have
close.
multiple.
Does he? No,
Close.
seriously.
I have multiple planes.
No, seriously.
No. But
You're-
I can get planes.
Does he fly
You're
private?
meeting like a Peter Goober, like in his infancy.
Yeah.
So get in.
How
on the
did you
ground
come
level.
up with the idea? Like was this missing from the marketplace? And
Yeah.
tell me.
So instead of looking at industry trends, we asked our audience, "What are you looking for?"
What
Because
on
they're-
on the
on
podcast?
Instagram. No, boy with no job, girl with no job. We had like a couple million followers.
You guys have
nothing
jobs
crazy.
now.
Nothing crazy. Yeah, it's an ironic name, but we asked them,
I
we're
get
like,
it,
what,
okay.
"What's missing?" They're like, if you could make like a White Claw but with wine that actually tasted great, because we're big wine drinkers, that would be really awesome if you could make something taste great. And we did. And
But how do you go about that? You go like, let's
hire an R&D team, raise some money, go and bring in
Good for you,
people that
man.
are smarter than you.
That's
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, it's fun.
Congratulations.
Thank
I'm
you.
happy for you.
Thank you very much.
And and do you have to go around like Clooney did and stock?
Yeah,
bars and
without
stuff?
being Clooney, it's a lot harder.
Do you have any
Without
of that?
Clooney's star power, you got to work really hard.
The Beach Boys, Mike Love has a new one coming out, and it was pretty good. They made an alcoholic one for us.
When are they going to grow up to be beach men?
They're past that already.
It's not.
Grandfather.
What
There's
is-
a
what is
beautiful
their-
special on the other Sunday night? It was.
What is
such a
their
great
drink?
tribute.
Is it canned?
It's called Coca Mojito. Is
Okay.
one. Shut up, asshole. That's a great name for it. I didn't make it up.
That's the
It's a
name
good
of the
one.
brand, or that's the
I think it's maybe Club Kokomo or something like that. or
Club Kokomo.
thing.
Is there?
Maybe you guys can do
yeah.
something together.
We
They're
could- maybe.
just launching, and they.
we could do a co-brand.
Have you ever?
No.
You're not a jealous person in any way, but when you see people, and I know your boys with Clooney and like that, who have this like other endeavor that isn't acting, but it's tequila or some like enterprise. Has a part of you ever been like, what's my tequila? What's my thing?
I'm not buddies with. I mean, I'm not. He's not my
Friendly,
boy or anything.
friendly.
I know. But he's a guy who I've always looked up to too, because he did the same thing. I remember being at a big Hollywood party once, and there was a microphone, and I walked in. He said, "Okay, now the most handsome man in the party just showed." Like he was one of those guys, And he would charm he charms the fuck out of you, but for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
He was like, didn't you talk about being Brad Pitt or something like that?
Yeah,
One of those guys.
all those. But
Yeah.
even when I got to meet Tom Hanks at your 52nd birthday with the great Neil Marin's house, and Hanks is there, we're shooting Grandfathered, and what I appreciated about him was I saw him clock my wife and I, and he's like, "Who are these civilians? These outsiders that don't drink, the baby blood." And he goes up to Stamos and he said, "Who are those two?" And you gave us a nice introduction. And knowing that he's Tom Hanks and people would naturally be a little intimidated to approach, he came over, knowing our names, ingratiated himself to us, and it was lovely.
Wow. I saw that Clinton had a guy, right, that was walking behind, and as you're walking up, that's so-and-so, he's got 2 kids and his wife's in the hospital. Hey, how your wife in the hospital, Yeah. And I do that sometimes too. But I care about people, and so did Tom. I mean, he comes at you. Neil Marin is getting married this weekend, and I am officiating the wedding.
Wow.
And I am not invited.
No.
In case
Are you
saying no.
What were we talking about? Was it anything good?
So you're
Rory. Why do I want to call him Marshall?
It's Marshall.
It's a store. Well,
how long?
We should do what he knows.
45.
Oh, perfect.
We got
so
45 more minutes.
I have one more question, and then we'll go
5.
10?
5-ish.
5 to 10?
We haven't even covered
2?
anything.
How long do you want?
I don't ever want to leave.
Okay.
Let's do like 10 more.
I drove, an hour and a half to get
9
here.
hours.
Yeah, it would have been fine.
What's so you're gonna get crazy ripped. You're gonna take peptides.
Maybe I'm gonna
have
see someone about it. I want to check my.
Dr.
blood.
Craig Conover. Is there any famous guy hacks? I know you have the thing at your home that's like a sleeping bag that heats up and makes you skinny.
How did you
also
know
have
that?
the crazy
I had that.
work. You told me yesterday on the phone.
Oh, yeah, that's
And then
right.
you also have the crazy workout gear that squeezes your muscles. So you only have to work out 15
Doesn't
minutes.
squeeze you, but 20 minutes. It's a electric. It's kind of like a.
It works?
Yeah. Well, hey, baby.
Yeah.
No, honestly, it does. 20 minutes. You can't work out longer than 20 minutes, and you're sore
Like
and ripped.
imagine here.
It's not.
Imagine
Doesn't
trying to
do
do
that.
a bicep curl like this. Just do the motion of a curl. It's harder.
Yeah, it's harder.
Yeah.
It's not quite like that.
Abuse.
Sorry, man.
Have you ever had those
I'm going to
TENS
bruise like a
units?
peach.
Have you ever the TENS units? Where if you went to the chiropractor and you got
the
hurt.
muscle stim?
Yes.
That's what does the whole body. Have you tried? You haven't tried it yet. It's really great. But I'm going to have to kick all that up. I'm going to work out more. Why don't you come out over and work out with me?
I'll do that. And also, I want to get my eyes done because you had mentioned to me when I said I want to get my eyes done, you were like, listen, I won't say who, but
Who?
you told me names.
I did? Who?
You were like, there are very
you're talking about-
famous men in this business, leading actors.
We just
movie
talked about one of
stars.
them, and he's talked about it. No,
Oh, he talked about it?
Yeah, he said.
It's Clooney. Finally, I can say
No,
it.
that's
What
not
a
who I
weight
fell
off my
asleep on.
back.
No.
I mean, cut that out. It's not Clooney.
No. He talked about it because he said his niece or someone came up to him and said, "You don't look like a movie star because you have bags in your eyes," and he got him taken care of.
He did? He talked about it?
Yeah.
What a weight off my
Marshall,
shoulders.
Google it.
They're not that. They're really not that. Like, I know they bother.
But you didn't do it.
No, I'm working. I need to.
No, you don't need to. It
Bobby
looks
Lee
better.
came on the pod and he
Yeah.
sat there and said, "You look fucking crazy." He's like, "The
Well, look
bags
who's
under your
talking.
eyes."
That guy pulls his dick out any chance he gets, and you're crazy.
Should we get to the what are you nuts moment?
Yeah,
of the
but what do
week?
they do? How do they replace it? Like, is it
They
whose
don't
skin
replace
is it?
it. What do you mean
You don't think so?
It's just a little
I think-
cut, and then they hide the.
You don't think they
scar.
just like take other skin and move it? Like, how else do you change the color?
What are you talking about?
Under
His
eye.
eyes?
Yeah, under eye.
No, they
That's what he's
just
talking about.
remove and
Unlike
pull.
absolutely everyone else in Hollywood who denies or evades the question, Clooney has disclosed to the press that he has had his lower and upper eyelids done.
Who said
Do you think he found his guy where I found my guy, Groupon?
that? Don't go the. Josh, where are you?
know
I'm
what
getting
you
my
wanted
eyes
to
done.
say.
Where are you? I'll come. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm at the car wash on Colbert. I shouldn't have had my eyes done at the bowling alley. I can't see, John.
John, are you ready for the what are you nuts moment of the week?
Don't get your eyes done at the car wash. That's all I'm saying.
That would be nuts. Do you know what our what are you nuts moment of the week is?
What are you nuts hanging out the window?
It's Ben. Do you want
Ben's
to?
looking at
It's
me
what
like
are you
I'm,
nuts? No.
Ben's looking at me like that.
No, I was going to say before because you
What
were
are we doing with
talking. You were
Stamos?
talking about getting your eyes done at the
I
car
got my
wash.
nose done, guys.
You did?
You did?
Yeah.
No.
You could tell. Yes. Seriously? You don't know? Yeah.
I know
Well,
a guy
he's
that
being rude.
I know a guy that only
I
goes
think-
to Costa Rica to get his teeth done. Isn't that interesting?
Cheaper there.
It's cheaper, much cheaper.
Medical
Much
tourism.
cheaper.
I'm telling you, I was growing out of the caterpillar into the butterfly, and the last thing was I was on General Hospital, and it was driving me crazy.
And you got a nose job, a rhinoplasty?
Is that what it's called?
You did?
You know what? Here's another. Well, I gotta give these publishers. I hope they're not listening because I'm giving away book stuff. You can pre-order. Talk about pre-ordering books. Why is that so important?
Demand.
What's that?
Create demand.
It's huge.
Yeah, no. I mean, there's not so much demand. They make enough.
It's
but
because you
like,
need to sell at least 10,000-ish to get on the New York Times bestsellers list. And not
you
that I
did?
would know.
You sold more than that. What happened with you? Remember they you on
It's
that one,
very
huh?
subjective.
Your book
that
was
list.
beautiful, and I love
Thank
the,
you.
the tone of it. Was like, we're not supposed to be happy every fucking like Marshall all the time. We're supposed to. Sometimes if we don't feel happy, we're not happy, right?
What's your give the link to pre-order? Where do you
I don't know.
where do you pre-order?
Well, all
You're
of them,
partnering
right?
with a bookshop, or do you?
Well, it's at all the things, right? Amazon, and it's on Amazon right now. But who pre-order? They're gonna kill
People
me for this.
pre-order.
But why? I mean, why? It's not gonna be.
Because then you ensure that you're going to get on the list.
I was going to say, or no, but maybe
Well-
it's for the customer. Maybe they think it's going to sell out.
I get that. I
they won't get a
get like a
copy.
month before or so, but the book doesn't come out till October. What were we saying? I was going to tell you something about a tidbit in there.
We were talking about nose jobs.
Nose jobs. You were driving home, rhinoplasty, General Hospital.
I had it done once, wasn't great. Went to another guy, Michael Jackson's guy. I said, look, if he could rebuild a whole face. He could fix my tip, right?
He didn't do. I mean,
Well, it got worse. Yeah, it
Never,
got bad, yeah.
quite-
Michael Jackson
quite
called me.
stuck.
You know, I bought this when eBay came out. It was the first. You know, it was right when eBay came out, and the first auction was this Disney auction. I collect Disney stuff, Ben, because it's worth a lot of money. And do you know the story?
I think so.
And I bought this sign. The sign was supposed to go for $1 million. It's the sign that out in front of Disneyland. It says Disneyland.
From what, the 60s, the original
Yeah.
sign.
It's the second
And
one, but it's still
gigantic.
Yeah, each letter's. Well,
Where do you keep it?
I was getting. I forgot about. I put the first bid in. It's like $31,000, I think, and then I forgot about it. And it was like 2 weeks. I said, I'm gonna go check. Oh shit, I'm the winner. I'm the top winner. I kept refreshing. I was in an office in Burbank, and I called my business manager. I think I'm gonna win this sign. How big is it? It's 14 by 8. Oh, 14 inches by 14. Each letter. 14 feet by 8 feet. Had to get a crane and everything. I said, well, I can't win. Michael Jackson won. It was supposed to go for millions of dollars. Boom, refresher. We are the winner. I was like, oh shit, what do I do now? But I have it. It's cool. But Michael Jackson called me and left a message. I was on ER, and I think it was during some of the Dalai Lama stuff that he was doing.
Are we ready for our What Are You Nuts moment of the week? Or?
Something
Tired.
in your
tired.
day that makes you say, "What are you
We'll-
nuts?"
we'll
I'll
start.
give you an
Yeah,
example.
go for it.
I'll give you an example.
What are you
We'll go
nuts?
for it.
I went on a little bit of a health kick. Tried to. Went to the store. Got some organic strawberries. Was thinking about making a smoothie. Then I go and I checked my phone. I saw in the news that all organic strawberries from Costco, where I shop, now have hepatitis A in them. And so, what are you nuts? Like, not even our fruit is not protected. That's a bad example.
Marshall,
of what are you
these guys are
nuts, but-
talented. They don't need gimmicks, right? Like this, what do you not like
The
games
people
and stuff.
love it.
No, people
They
like it's
do
good.
love it.
It's good.
But it was so good up to.
It's good.
I mean, it was honest and real, and now we're like doing.
You don't like it?
No,
I'm
I'm
really
kidding.
trying. We're dying to
Look,
close this
it's
thing.
the only
is why.
time I've
Dear Media's about to kick us out.
Go
We're
ahead.
going to lose our lease here.
Dear meeting.
Here's my What Are You Nuts moment of the week. You know what I rail against?
Tell me.
This phrase. You might not know this about me.
That's
Whenever
funny, yeah,
someone
yeah,
says
yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah.
nothing good's coming.
No.
It's never, you might not know about this about me, but I like to give away free money. Never. It's always, you might not know this about me, but I'm an Aquarius.
Yeah,
Who gives,
who gives a
shit? Right.
Not me.
You may not know. We don't
Nope.
want to know.
Yeah.
Nope, dummy.
There's a reason I don't know. So that's my What Are You Nuts? What
I
Are You
like that.
Nuts?
What are you
Well,
nuts?
Staying on that theme, what are you nuts? People have overused it. It is what it is. It is what I don't know if they got it from
Great
Trump or
one,
whatever.
John.
Thank you. I see. I make fun of the game and then I come through, Marshall. Marshall's hiding. Is he under the desk? Marshall, get some candy. We'll get him out.
Thank you,
You want
John.
a cookie, Marshall?
We love you.
I love you guys. I love you, Josh. And I'm
Pre-order
glad
John's book.
we finally made up.
Stop
we
it.
were funny. And Ben, I'm happy to meet you.
Happy to meet you,
and I'm
too.
happy for your success. And I'm going to look for the Spritz Society.
I'm happy.
Do you guys don't make non-alcoholic?
Not yet, but if we do, I'll let you know. Not yet.
Well, the
Not
Beach
yet.
Boys are doing one specifically for me, non-alcoholic, and Josh. It's called Josh and
right,
it's
so
called
you know.
Josh and John. And what happened to Drake? Is he okay? I mean, should we call him?
Really?
No. Are we done?
I didn't answer
All right,
that.
good.
Perfect. Great.
Paula Abdul!
That was Paul Abdul, by the way.